Welcome back to Sam's Garage and the long-awaited Hudson Hornet project.
And so what we're going to do is this is a reverse polarity 6-volt system, and we're going to run a ground strap from the motor to the chassis. One good strong one, thick, making sure both components are clean. Everything's been painted, so we're going to have to scrape those surfaces off. Today's cars are going to require more grounds because you got so much electricity going through it, especially the secondary ignition with all the coil packs that we run today. So you want to have 2 grounds on the block just in case one fails. Then we're going to go ahead and run off of our negative side of our battery over to primary ignition, to the starter solenoid, which we don't have right now. But we do have our voltage regulator. We cannot put that in until the fenders are hung, which Mike's going to do for us. Once that's hooked up, we can go ahead and hook up our generator. Okay? Let's go ahead and get started.
Sam never said anything about working on the car. I thought I just had to come out here and just look at it.
Oh, I'll show you the text. I showed him, I texted him, I said, you better bring your Wheaties with you. It's just you and I.
Yeah.
See what I do is I turn this around. See that? The ears that pop up? I turn it around so it bites down on the cable. And then you always use a nut driver because it's lead, and it'll pull the nut through, so you don't want to apply too much torque, just make it snug. So when you stop, it stops. Not a lot of wrist power, no leverage, Okay, now we're gonna run one more wire from the armature over to the armature. Then we'll zip tie these. I'll show you a little trick on the zip tie. That way you guys can
Think
teach
that's heavy enough? Think it will carry enough current?
Well, it's twice the size of the original wire.
Yeah, I was saying twice, it's probably 5 times the size of the original wire.
Can't have too much, Doug, okay?
Yeah, it's got...
The old days, this was what regulated the alternator, and the alternator was just a generator.
What it does is it regulates the current. What you have is a generator, and you've got to be able to turn voltage on to the battery or wherever you need it. And so what it does is it'll register when your battery's low, it'll charge it. And then if you don't need any more charge, it'll stop it, so it regulates the current. And a lot of the regulators have points into it, and they'll have magnetic fields that open and closes the points.
No, its fuses are in each circuit. So every switch, every component that activates something, the fuse is incorporated in that switch, okay? So there's no fuse block. They're old school glass fuses, so you have to find an old school shop that's still got old stock of glass fuses, of which I have a whole bunch. And there's other places like, the internet, you can get old, new stock of glass fuses. That's why we're gonna go original on the wire harness, to keep it original looking. That way, in case we do go into the great race, they can't say anything about any updates or modifications on the engine or the car and kick us out of the race.